What's up, guys? Welcome to the Midwest Hustle Podcast. I'm your host, Jared Cunningham. Today, we have a new setup. I kind of changed things up a bit. I hope that's okay. Turned my cameras around, kind of found different angles there. Super excited to talk about today's episode. Last episode, in episode 2, we talked about generating that idea and turning that into a business, right? Finding your passion, what you're passionate about, and seeing if it's something that you can actually create a business with. Today, we're going to kind of go into the next step. We also talked about our business plan as well. I didn't mention in the last episode that your next step after creating your business plan, what would be that next step? And so I kind of wanted to go into a little bit about what we're going to do with our idea, right? You have your business plan. You have your idea, you have your business plan. What's the next step? So the next step would be to create an LLC, right? You can do that, and there's a couple different ways doing that. You can hire somebody to do it, and they'll do it awesome. They'll do a good job, whatever. Typically, it can range from $500 to $1,000 to $1,500, whatever. I think I paid for Midwest cleaning. I paid about $1,000 to get everything set up, and we'll talk about the different types of LLCs and what they all stand for. But for the media company, I actually set up my own LLC myself. It was definitely something I've never done before, but I kind of watched YouTube videos. I probably could have done it with the cleaning company, but I just didn't have the time. And I also didn't remember how to do it, so I was like, I'm just going to have a company do it for me. And I paid them I think it was all the way, once we got everything going, it was roughly around $1,000 to get everything going. And so we're going to talk about two different LLCs. So there's an LLC called the Sole Proprietorship, and there's also an LLC called S Corp. I strongly encourage people to just be a sole proprietor when you're starting out, because right now that's what the cleaning business is sole proprietor. It's me, the owner. I am the entity, right? Because there's some pros and there's some cons, obviously, right? You kind of you're able to, you don't have to pay yourself right away. You can save. You can put all the money back into your business. You can, it's kind of a safe way. There's some cons to that as well, though. You're going to pay more taxes at the end of the year, unfortunately. You are at risk with potentially getting sued, and it could harm you personally. Legally is what I mean. So let's say, for instance, in my cleaning company, one of my workers has an accident and it happened during work time. Well, they decided to sue me. I would be personally liable. And that is a dangerous part of the business, right? So you just kind of have to kind of consider your pros and cons with that. We're going to go into the S corporation, and what that is basically corporate, right? There's some pros and there's some cons with that one. You can save some money on taxes with that. And you're also protected. Personally, yourself, you're protected. Midwest Media Guy is an S Corp right now. That may change later. I don't know. We just did it probably like 6 months ago. And that may change. I don't know if I'm going to see any benefits from it. But supposedly you're supposed to save on taxes at the end of the year because you're a corporation, not a single member LLC, and you're also protected. Now, the downside with a S Corp is you have to give yourself a salary. The IRS doesn't say particularly what you're supposed to pay yourself, but it just needs to be a reasonable salary. So I pay myself a salary from the media business, a reasonable salary of what I would be paid in this market. But that's a scary thought, actually, because like I don't know if I'm going to be going for the next couple of years, right? I don't know what's going to happen to the market next year. What's going to happen with real estate? What's going to happen with commercial media? What's going to happen with websites? I don't know. And so there are a lot of risks in doing this, but there are a lot of pros on doing it as well. You can save on taxes, like I said before, you're protected, and, you know, you're a corporation, so it makes you feel a little bit better. I don't know. And I might be completely like, if there's anyone out there right now that's listening that knows more on this, more in depth, please reach out to me, because I would love to interview you, by the way, because I love talking these different LLCs, and I do know a couple people that will be on the show to talk more in depth on that. But yeah, so those are the two LLCs that I'm familiar with. There might be a couple others out there, and you kind of have to determine what works best for you. I wouldn't recommend going straight S corp right away on your business. I would recommend doing sole proprietor and working your way and building and building and building and investing more money into your business, And you don't have to give yourself a salary if you don't want to. If let's say you had a bad month and you only made, $500 and you had $450 of expenses that month, you're able to have that less stress off your shoulders if you're a sole proprietor, basically. That way you're not having to worry about, oh my gosh, I'm not going to be able to pay myself this month because we had this happen or this happen or this happen. Now, when you have employees, it completely changes the game, and I'm learning that currently in this moment right now. I'm learning that because I had no idea what else there was with having employees, and it's a whole new ball game. And I'm still learning it, and I'm thankful for the people that are in my life that are putting me with the right people to get these things sorted out. So, yeah, when you have employees, I would just recommend finding an advisor, a financial advisor, an accountant. Please find an accountant. It will save you so much headache, money, and time. Yes, it may be expensive from the get-go, but it will save you so much time, and you might not have to pay the IRS as much money. And a bookkeeper, definitely get one of those. One of the things that I am learning is you cannot do everything yourself. You cannot be the office admin. You cannot be the bookkeeper. You can't be your own CPA. You cannot be your own accountant. And that's something I'm learning here and now. And I'm starting to let go and let other people take that and paying other people to do that, because it's super important. You're going to mess things up. If you don't know what you're doing with numbers and forms with the government, dude, do not do it. Let a professional do that. And another thing I will say is you technically are legally obligated. You have to have your own CPA to do your taxes if you're an S corporation. I also learned that too. Didn't know that. And so that is something super important that you have to do, is you can't be your own CPA. On a sole proprietor, you're allowed to do your own taxes if you want. You can go to TurboTax, whatever, do your own taxes that way. But if you're an S corp, you have to hire a CPA to do that. So once you have your LLC created, you got to register your business. You can go to, you can go to GovConnect Iowa, I believe it is. Just literally Google register my business with the state of Iowa, and it will walk you through all those things. Make sure that you follow all the prompts and you do all that. That's super important, registering your business in the state of Iowa, so that way you're real, you're legal, and they can contact you to pay taxes. The next thing you would want to do is set up your withholding or sales tax accounts with the IRS. That's super confusing stuff. I don't know how to do it. Find a professional. That is what I say. Find a professional. That is just plain, keep it simple, stupid, So those are the next steps that you would do after creating your LLC. Once you get all that legality stuff taken care of, right? It's super important to have a software to keep all your transactions, your money, whatever. I use QuickBooks Online. Some people use QuickBooks Desktop. But QuickBooks is pretty much going all online. There's other softwares out there that will help, Stripe, Square, whatever. I recommend using QuickBooks and QuickBooks only. That's what I use. It's easy. Yes, it's a little pricey, but it's worth the money that I use it for. And so QuickBooks will help you make sure you're getting your reports correct at the end of the year. They have awesome integrations with different softwares that I use, which is really nice. You're able to upload receipts, so that way those receipts will automatically attach to those transactions, which is really important. So that way you can prove to the government that you bought this for this and you're using it for this, right? So you go for instance, you go out to eat with a client, talking business, you can write that off, scan that receipt with the app, bam, you're good to go. So yeah, that's what I use. QuickBooks is really great. There are other softwares. I've never used them. I don't know if they're good or not, but this is what I use. This is what I recommend. So this is what I've learned in the past 3 years of doing businesses. I'm no expert by any means, and I don't say that I am. I always consult business professionals with business decisions. It's super important to do that. And so that's what I'm suggesting today. Those are my words on, creating an LLC and getting all of the legality forms with the government and all that kind of stuff. I highly recommend having a company do all that for you. It relieves so much stress off your shoulders. And yes, it will cost money, but that way you have peace of mind that it's not going to be messed up. Because if it's messed up, then it's kind of, oh crap, So that's all for today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this information. Thank you so much for watching and tuning in or listening on this channel. I would love if you guys could follow me on Spotify, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and we are on TikTok. It would be awesome if you guys could follow me on all those platforms. We're just trying to build this and to see where it goes. We're super excited to be able to do this, and I just thank you for the opportunity. Again, never stop hustling because the hustle never stops. Thank you.